And a top focus in WION at this hour. Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has arrived in India. The focus of the two-day visit is on strengthening the special strategic and global partnership between India and Japan. He will be holding talks with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well. The visit is a part of Japan's efforts to push for a new plan for an open and free Indo-Pacific amid an increasing Chinese footprint. During the two-day visit, Kishida is also scheduled to deliver the 41st Sapru House lecture on the Indo-Pacific, in which he is expected to lay out his vision for the Indo-Pacific. Apart from this, Kishida will also visit New Delhi's Buddha Jayanti Park to see the Bodhi tree. The tree has special significance because it is the sapling of the holy Bodhi tree under which Lord Buddha attained enlightenment. Over the years, the ties between the two nations have grown to significant levels. This also includes cooperation on defense and security. Japan is also a major investor in India. The two countries have set up Japan industrial townships to promote economic partnership, investment, industry and also infrastructure growth. Delhi and Tokyo also share a comprehensive economic partnership agreement. It covers various areas including trade in goods and services and also in investments. For more on this, our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal is joining us live from New Delhi. A very good morning to you, Siddhant. Now, the Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has arrived in New Delhi. He will be holding talks with the Indian Prime Minister later today. What is on the agenda?
Well, in almost 10 to 15 minutes, both the leaders, both the prime ministers will be holding talks here in Delhi at Hyderabad House, and focus ranged from everything from Japan's support in India's bullet train project to, of course, Russia-Ukraine conflict and an increased worry over Chinese aggressiveness. Remember, China has been aggressive with India when it comes to its northern borders, India's northern borders, and this has been something that has led to a downfall in the relationship. But with also the Japanese side, with the Japanese authorities, they have logged on. We saw when it comes to Senkaku Island, that has been a point of concern for the Japanese government. But essentially an important visit at a time when the geopolitics of the Indo-Pacific is changing very fast. As you pointed out, the Japanese Prime Minister will be addressing a lecture where the focus will be Indo-Pacific. But remember, it was way back in 2007 when the then Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe addressed the Indian Parliament and laid out his vision for the Indo-Pacific, talking about the confluence of the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. So, very, very important lecture that will be by the Japanese Prime Minister in almost 3 to 4 hours.
Right, Siddhant. Now, talking about China's growing assertiveness, the Japanese Prime Minister will also unveil a plan for free and open Indo-Pacific. Tell us more on that.
Well, when it comes to Indo-Pacific, we know that India and Japan have been coordinating with each other. This is a vision that has gained a lot of significance in past few years. Quad is an example of it, how countries like Australia, India, Japan and US have come together. But more and more countries in the region and outside, example, European countries, have come out with their vision of Indo-Pacific. Now, why does Indo-Pacific carry so much of conversation globally today? It's because a substantial portion of the global population and a substantial portion of the global trade passes through this region. Two of the most important economies in the world, India, China and Japan. In fact, 3 important economies are situated in the region. So increasingly the world is shifting towards Indo-Pacific, given that there can be more geopolitical contestation in the region, and the role Japanese can play is something that will be highlighted during his lecture, and role the Japanese would like India to play in their vision of the Indo-Pacific is something that will be closely noticed.
Right, Siddhant, and also how are the Quad members, India and Japan, viewing the emergence of China as an axis power around which other nations are aligning, especially with the Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to Moscow later today?
China has been a worry for Tokyo, for New Delhi and other countries in the region. And coincidentally, while the Japanese Prime Minister begins his Delhi visit from today, the Chinese President Xi Jinping is traveling to Moscow. So many will see a lot of alignment in that. But also remember, while China is a concern for both Japan and India, there are divergences on Russia, especially the Russia-Ukraine conflict. We know Japan has been very open about its condemnation of the Russian aggression. Well, India, of course, shares close relationship with Moscow. It has a strong relationship when it comes to energy, when it comes to defense. So we will, of course, see a lot of strong reaction and comments by the Japanese Prime Minister Kishida when he addresses the press. The press statement will be addressed by both the leaders at Hyderabad House. But we might not see that kind of strong condemnation by New Delhi, as New Delhi has been saying that dialogue and diplomacy is the only way forward, and that remains India's policy. But one thing is for sure, that China worry tops the key focus for both the prime ministers.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.